Hi, everyone. Before we start, let's take a moment of silence and take three deep breaths with keeping an intention. For me, my intention today is that somebody has an aha moment and something clicks for them from what I'm talking about. And, you can take away one sentence that you really absorbed or, made sense to you today. So, yes, that's my intention. Take some time to keep an intention for yourselves. And if you want, you can pause away or do that and then move on from here. All right. All right. So today's topic is a toolbox. And, I created my toolbox in therapy and I realized that, we kind of gave a name to it. But I think my journey with having a toolbox for myself has been there. It's instinctively for a long time. So we're going to go dive into why I think it's important that everyone has a toolbox for themselves. All right. So, and I will also give a few examples of the toolbox that give you a few examples of what I have in my toolbox a little later. But before that, I want you to understand the intention with which you create your toolbox, right? So there's a story that I even teach in my classes. It's about, Buddha. He goes traveling and he reaches this mountain top where there's a village there. And he goes to the villages and he's getting ready to give his sermons, or I think he gives his sermons. But at some point, the villagers tell him that, we've had many sages and learned people coming through and sharing a lot of their knowledge. And we are so confused as to who should we follow, what should we listen, what we should take away, and what we should apply. And he gives a very simple, what I take away from reading that story a long time back is that he says to be on a path of inquiry. And what are you searching for? You're searching for happiness and contentment. At the end of the day, that's literally the core of what we're all looking for. So be on the path of inquiry, always have a curious mentality, searching for your happiness and contentment, and use that as your compass to see what you like and what you don't, what gives you satisfaction, some peace. So with that intention, draw in what tools work for you, right? So for example, one other thing that I also wanted to touch upon is that when I was younger, like almost everyone that I know, I was really into music. Okay. And I've also done choir in church, and we were also learning Vedanta when I was quite young, and I really resonated with the bhajans that they had, especially the Kabir Dohas. I really loved it. And then later, once I grew up and I was traveling, there was this point of time when I was in a really, I was I was a tourist somewhere else, and I was feeling really weird, and I was feeling awful. And then at that point of time, I heard the Tara Mantra playing at a Tibetan restaurant, and that really, it hit me, and it really felt good, and it was really grounding. So since then, I have like a playlist of Tara Mantras as well. So my compass guided me to all these things, and then later I came across this woman who was talking about the fact that we think that religion has a monopoly on all these tools that kind of ground us or help humanity as a whole. So, we have the choir, we have bhajans, we have, the mantras that are there. And there's so many different, I wouldn't know, but this is what I grew up with, right? And we think it's religious and we only keep it there. So once we maybe are searching for our own guidance, we don't use these tools that that's always there since ages for us to apply in our lives. So now I have a playlist of different things that resonate with me. And it was a there came a point where I was like really confused with hip hop and pop and K-pop, because I am a dancer and I really, really like music with a lot of beats and things. And I was struggling with listening to them anymore because I couldn't connect with a lot of the lyrics. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? And then I was like, oh, hold up. I can always ask for help. And we come to the section about asking for help a little later in the video. But then now I have like playlists of like amazing musicians, fun with beats. And I'll make a compilation somewhere and put a link down below in the description or on my website or something like that, and give you guys, share with you what artists that I follow now. All right. So you have to see what works for you and kind of always have these things available. So other things that I have in my toolbox that I'll share, and you guys can take away whatever works for you, is I have a grounding technique. Okay. And again, this keeps changing as I evolve. But you know, there's this feeling of uncertainty, of you're fully dysregulated, suddenly something has happened or nothing has happened. You just suddenly feel off, right? And you're like, okay, where am I? What am I doing? Ground yourself and find a technique that works for you. For me, it was in the beginning 5 things, right? Like our 5 senses. So find things that I can see, okay, and then like, fixate on one and be like, okay, so that's a bench. Yeah, I sit there with my friend. Or okay, there's maybe my friend's cat, or she's a cutie pie, and etc. etc. Focus on things that I see, what I hear, what I smell, what I feel, what's underneath my body, and taste. I don't think I ever did that, but yeah, okay, 4 of these things. Now it's moved on from, I just need to feel my feet. That's what I do. Whatever situation I am in, I just take my awareness down to my feet and just ground myself over there, send whatever weird energy that I feel down to the earth. But that was after practice. It might not be comfortable to a lot of people, but if it is, it's awesome. There are many other things that are there. When my anxiety was at a peak, I realized that tapping my thighs on the side, one over here, then one over here, like in a rhythmic way, when I'm in social situations and I feel really weird, really helped me. So, and there's so many other techniques. You can see what works best for you. Another thing is remembering this statement, right? Your toolbox and the tools that are there can come in many different forms, okay? For me, another one is respectful disregard, which is like, suddenly if I go into a people-pleasing mode and I can feel my power slipping away, obviously it took so much practice to at least catch myself in those situations. I'll catch it and be like, oh, okay, I really want this person's validation. And then I'll say a statement like, I don't know them and I don't need their respect or validation, right? First of all, I respect and validate myself usually, and I kind of work on that. But when it comes to another person, this really helps me come back to myself and think about what I feel, what do I want to do. I don't need their respect or validation. That's it. It really clicks for me. Then also I have coloring. I have a coloring book, which is really pretty one with, like, if it's made for adults, it's really beautiful and intricate designs. And seeing that a lot of my friends have also bought coloring books, it's really helpful. And handwriting. This used to be in my toolbox for a very long time, and now it's a seasoned tool, which most of my handwriting is completely changed. So it's there as a backup at a time when I feel like completely out of control. I'm not able to like manifest what I want, or I feel like things are happening and I feel so overwhelmed. I'm in a really negative spiral, which is normal. So at that point of time, I have my handwriting. It's a very strong tool, but I don't use it as often as I do the others. And I might make a video on this later because it's a whole another topic in itself. And you guys can research about it. It's Vimla handwriting. So there's a book on it. I think there are videos on YouTube and things like that. She has a website. Really cool. And last is friends, of course. So you basically see what works for you and then incorporate that into your toolbox. And I'll also share some books that were game changers for me and which I took a lot of insights from. I'll put a link for that as well. All right. Now, you have to keep in mind the fact that you don't know what you don't know, right? So have an open mindset when coming across techniques recommended from friends, from something which you read, something from the internet, or something that the universe just sends by you, like just randomly. So watch out for these things. Keep your instincts, like make sure your instincts are sharp, right? And keep an ear out for these kind of things. Because you have to be a teachable person to be able to receive these kind of things, right? And so attend workshops, read a lot of books if you can, and stuff like that. Just work on being a teachable person with a lot of curiosity, your ears and eyes open to things that you can take that can help you. Also, one other thing that really helped me when I was growing up was having a mentor. And go with this intention that, whenever you look at a person much older to you, a lot of experience, and you trust them or you think they'll have things to teach you, have that apprentice mentorship role in mind, right? They don't have to know, but have that intention for yourself. So I had a lot of mentors that really helped me and guided me when I was growing up. And now with my students, when I teach and when I talk to my students' parents, it's very clear that I'm like, okay, yes, I'm a teacher, but it's more of a mentorship role that I take in guiding the child through their life, right? Take light from others. Be okay with receiving from others, and but make sure that it's your voice within that's kind of, deciding where to take your life. So your instinct is steering the ship. Your voice within is steering the ship. And one mentor that I had for a brief time shared this one thing, which was really interesting for me, is that when you were looking for a guru or a guide or a mentor or whatever it is, remember that their light or their information, wisdom, whatever, is there to guide you till a point that your light is bright enough for you to go on to the next part of your journey or move on with your life, right? That's all there is. They're helping you create your own light. And so that was like a big aha moment for me. All right. And the best tool to have in your, which kind of like is the biggest thing in your toolbox is listening to the universe. As I said, you have to be a teachable person, but you also have to be present to listen and look out for these signs or, things that the universe or God or whatever you believe in is sending you. So for that, you have to observe. And the best way that the universe kind of communicates is through feelings. So when you're feeling off, so nowadays, all my friends, right, we've been in tune working on this so much. So whenever we feel off, I'm like, okay, there's something that I had not done right or something that I'm not seeing, right? Especially when you're going through pain or suffering. That's not the time to like shut down and close your eyes and, be like, I can't deal with this. It's the time to open your eyes wider and see, what are you missing? What is it that you need to take away from here? Huge game changer. The way that you can just maneuver through things, as long as you have your tools and you have the confidence to go through it, it's insane. Anything you can get through. So the first way the universe communicates is through feelings, right? Next are thoughts. For example, I was driving. It was at night, and I was coming back really fast with my sister, and because it was just about to rain, so we're wearing the raincoat. But I hate riding. Sorry, we're on a scooter. We're riding with a raincoat, but I did not want to ride in the rain. So I'm going really fast, and I'm a good rider. It's nothing like that. I'm a very good rider. And then suddenly, at one point, this thought crosses my head. It's like, a dog is going to cross the road. Oh, what happened? Oh. And I was like, whoa, that's not my thoughts. Like, nothing like that has ever happened to me where I've almost hit a dog or anything like that. So where did it come from? And in that whole monologue that's going on in my head, I slowed down. I gave it the benefit of the thought, and I was like, I don't know where this has come from. Let me just take it seriously. As soon as I stopped accelerating, that's all I did. I didn't I was just going fast. I stopped accelerating and I was just cruising. So I had more control. So just after I did that, within 3-4 seconds, a dog just ran across the road. And I was like, cool. I'm sure these kind of things might have happened where you felt like, oh, you should have done this and you didn't do it. You raised your hand because you feel like you instinctively knew the answer for some question and you didn't. We don't trust our own instincts or our own intuition. So feeling, then thought, and words are the last. I think it's the least effective because we can take it in so many different ways, right? I've had going to the same, let's say we're going to the same teacher and listening to the same information, and I interpret it completely differently and it helps me. And another person interprets it completely different and it goes for a toss. They take it maybe the wrong way, not what the teacher intended it to be. So words are the least effective. So listen out, observe your feeling, your thoughts. I also have another video on processing, which I can link so that you can watch it later. And remember that experience is the grand communicator. When you're not listening to all of these things and you're not listening to your instinct and doing what you think your innate intuition is asking you to do, then you end up in really ridiculous situations, right? Nowadays, if there's even a teeny red flag that pops up, I'm like, you know what? I don't have time to deal with this person, this experience, this company, whatever it is. I've learned way too many times ignoring a few red flags. It always kind of snowballs to something much more bigger. Now, I have enough good friends that I've worked upon. I've got a balance. Anybody else, very aware, because I don't want to learn through experience, right? That because I've learned through experience that I should always, listen to my instincts. And just treat the universe, or God, or whoever you believe in as your best friend, right? Have a love affair with the universe. Just as soon as you have a problem, just be like, hey, I really, really want this. Can you just help me with this? I really want to be able to communicate openly. Just help me with this. I really want to be more connected with my animals. Just ask the universe and observe and wait and really trust it. And I am guaranteeing you that the tools and techniques will come your way. So have fun with it, creating your own toolbox. Remember that it keeps changing. What I had a couple of years ago is not at all what is there in my toolbox now. And and let me know if you guys have any interesting technique or tools that you have in your toolbox that you would love to share. There's no gatekeeping here. I'm gonna share whatever I have, and it would be awesome if you guys can share what you have. I'm sure I'll click with somebody I can use it. It'll be so cool. And so that is the conversation for today. I hope you guys had some takeaways or at least one aha moment where something made sense or something clicked. Have a wonderful day. Sending you guys a lot of love and light. Bye.